Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. We could be getting very close, if we're not already there, in the danger zone of terms of the silver stockpiles in the COMEX and LBMA. Wait till you see the chart I'm about to show you. And let's talk about some of the reasons why India is really tightening up their silver squeeze. And when will it end? Let's explore! Silver, in the form of bars like you see here, and rounds and coins, we know that they are in great demand amongst many of us stackers. That is separate and apart from Indian demand for silver, because gold is so expensive and they're acquiring a lot more silver as the poor man's gold. That is certainly the case in India. They've been acquiring quite a bit of it for month after month, and seemingly it's coming from the COMEX and the London Bullion Market Association. The London Vault holdings are showcasing where silver is. In fact, let's take a look at this. Numbers now released for October. We can see that now it is down even more. 852,075,000 ounces is what they have there, down from 871,331 before. So it's dropping more, not quite as rapidly, but still dropping and not being replenished anytime soon. From the LBMA's website here, we can see what they say is the end of October 2022. The amount of gold held in London vaults was 9,308 tons, which was a 1.4% decrease. So even their stockpiles are falling as well, but not as dramatically as silver. There were also 26,502 tons of silver, a 2.2% decrease from the previous month, valued at $16.3 billion, which equates to approximately 883,417 silver bars. This is the lowest amount of silver held in the vault since reporting started in July 2016. So that kind of reporting was not started until then, and we're going to take a look and see exactly what that means, what that looks like here. Here's where it is now, all the way back to where it started. Look at there. So a dramatic drawdown from even there. This continues at the pace that it is now, even though the pace has decreased slightly. It is still drawing down. They will run out of silver. And assuming they're being transparent on their holdings, this is remarkable to see. I haven't even looked at the COMEX numbers, but nonetheless, this is where we are at. India's massive silver demand is cutting the world's warehouse stocks, is the headline of this piece from Bloomberg News, as shared by mining.com. Pretty dramatic indeed, as we see Indian silver consumption is forecast to surge by around 80% to record this year as traders draw down inventories and warehouses from London to Hong Kong after two COVID-riddled years, which means that certainly things should be coming to a balance sometime soon. We'll see. It's not going to happen anytime before the year ends, maybe even not before the end of the year. We'll talk about that momentarily. Indians bought historically low amounts of silver in 2020 and 2021 as supply chains and demand were hit by the virus outbreaks, while consumers rushed to jewelry stores to buy gold in last year's final quarter when the pandemic restrictions eased, pushing sales to an all-time high. Silver demand grew by less than 25%. This year, however, silver sales are back on track. Local purchases may surpass 8,000 tons in 2022 from about 4,500 tons last year, said Chirag Seth, principal consultant at Metals Focus Limited. That's up from April's estimate of 5,900 tons. We are seeing a jump in purchases among retail customers similar to what we saw in gold last year because of pent-up demand, Seth said. It's pretty dramatic, as we can see by this chart here. We're going to look at this here. Imports during the January to August period were 6,370 tons compared to just 153.4 tons during the year before period. According to the latest data from the nation's trade ministry. For 2021, the country shipped in only 2,803.4 tons. Look at that. And you can see the big drawdown that we saw from 2020 to 2021. You notice that in 2016, when the reporting first started from the LBMA, we saw it didn't have a whole lot in its vault. But look at the years before, 2015 and 2014, huge draws on silver. And we can see here, by the way, what this means. In 2015 and 2014, when we saw that huge demand for silver in those 2 months, those 2 years, it did not move the price at all. And it may not have much effect on the price this year, except for that the bullion vaults at the LBMA, which are being tracked now, are showing this massive drawdown. My guess is maybe it won't until next year, but we'll see. And again, understanding that this reporting here so far, about 6,300 tons, or whatever that they're showing here from January to August, where is September and October. And we'll see what happens when those numbers get updated there. India imports about half of its silver from the United Kingdom. Mainland China and Hong Kong buying is mainly from the London Bullion Market Association accredited warehouses, and which is why we see these inventories of those vaults now falling. While gold is brought into the country by air, silver is mostly by sea, Sheth said. But now, because of the huge demand, everything is coming by air. Wait times for sourcing the metal have also gone up, with suppliers taking about 20 days to dispatch an order, he said. I tell you what, one thing we are seeing on top of this demand from India, which is really putting the squeeze on silver, yea, though not affecting the price a whole lot, because or else we probably would have seen the prices rise fairly dramatically in 2014 and 2016 or 2015. We did not see that. The prices went down those years, at least to some level. But nonetheless, this is kind of where we are at, coupled with the increased demand by you and me. We're buying a lot of silver these days. In fact, this year, 2022, I have bought more silver this year than I have any other year in my stacking journey. But now, as the article continues here, silver holdings in London vaults fell to 27,101 tons at the end of September, the lowest since records began in 2016, according to the LBMA. Prices in India have fallen about 6% this year, while gold has risen around 5%. Futures of the white metal on the local exchanges are trading at 58,869 rupees per kilogram, still well below the record of 77,949 rupees touched in 2020. Jewelry demand comprises more than a third of total consumption in India, while nearly a quarter goes to the industrial sector and the rest is used in silverware and other applications. The metal is popular in rural areas because there it's viewed as poor man's gold, because it's many times cheaper than its fellow precious metal, its fellow yellow precious metal. And we see poor man's gold in this chart here that tells us silver prices in India have dropped this year. So we can see the MCX gold futures in Mumbai, the MCX silver futures in Mumbai. You can see that separation there as we move from about April into October of this year. Silver is relatively cheaply priced compared to gold, so that is probably one of the reasons why investors were buying the metal, including in on the U.S. Europe Perth Mint treasurer Sawantana said. In terms of institutional silver demand, we saw that in India there was a huge demand in the form of silver large bars. That's right, very big demand for these large bars. And those large bars, I assume, are the COMEX-sized 1,000-ounce bars that we see there. And so those are, I guess, somewhat readily available. And in fact, even for those of us here, that is the only bars you can find at a relatively low premium these days. There's one bullion company, I think, some smaller company that I've heard somebody was saying was buying up those 1,000-ounce bars and chopping them up and selling the chopped up versions of those. That'd be very interesting to see what those look like. and would sell for. Very interesting. So yes, indeed, used demand because the spot price of silver is relatively low historically. Demand for silver in India may be strong for the next 3 to 4 months before stabilizing. Let that sink in, folks. Well into next year, this demand for silver will be strong for the next couple of months here, up to 4 months. Consumption in 2023 will not be as robust as this year, he said, but it may take a while for that to slow down. What does that mean? Well, that means that as we see these vault holdings continue to go down month after month for 3 or 4 more months, we're going to see it go to a thin, razor thin holding of silver if they don't replenish these stocks anytime soon. Can they replenish those stocks? That's really the question, is where we are at is stockpiles are being drained from everywhere, COMEX as well. Will they be able to drain these stocks? The fact that it's gone on to this level of dropping here for so many months, month after month after month, is kind of scary. It could be a crisis of these silver stockpiles with these contract-sized bars. All the while, the bullion demand, which accounts for about 20 to 25% of all the silver demand, out there, we could very well see a continued squeeze on those markets as well, too. Already, local coin shops are saying any new product that they're looking to get are about 2 months out, 8 weeks out for a lot of that stuff. A lot of the silver that's being sold, at least at a local coin shop that I frequent, is mostly coming in from the outside. In other words, people selling, silver bars, silver coins, constitutional silver, and the like. We'll see how it plays out. But there's a report for this Monday. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Hope you found this video insightful. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch this video and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.